This is Dabu7. I want to share with you some pretty important details coming out of the Simpsons clips that some of you may have never saw. I want to give a shout out to TrutherBot Dank Green, Wrath, and Bono's Entertainment. I'll leave links to all that, the stuff that they sent me, in the description below. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some other things that the Simpsons have covered as well, specifically the Arab Spring that you see right here. This was predicted in a 2001 episode. This flag, and what is important to note, is that this flag did not come into existence until after the Arab Spring. So they called it. Matt Groening and his crew, they either have some crystal ball or they're definitely in the know. The Higgs boson particle discovered by CERN. Ebola mixed in with Curious George. And in a more recent clip, they show Donald Trump and Homer gets lost in a vortex in his hair and then gets dumped back out or dropped off by some feds back in his hometown. And as you can see where I'm going at with this is the outcome of the one I'm about to show you. The outcome of Trump's presidency is how they're predicting it in this Simpsons commercial. Whether you like Trump or not, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm trying to show you what they predicted. And many times before, the Simpsons have shown things as I have just shown you. Just a handful of them. And they have come true. Now, what is very interesting, and I want people to realize the synchronicity here and all the connections here. This was put out in 2000. That was 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Now this is happening. 15 years from now is when? 2030. You guys paying attention to the video I just dropped about Agenda 2030 or the 2030 Agenda? It's ticker taped in here too, because a fortune teller gave Bart a glimpse into the future, and guess where it took him? In the same episode where Trump becomes president. 2030. So, just coincidences? They have a magic ball, or they're in the know and know things before they happen. So, just one of the latest I wanted to share with you. People would say it's this, it's that. Trump could not even become president, and people could say, oh, it was nothing. Or he could, and this could go right on along the lines of all the other things that they've predicted. What's interesting is this was from 2000, and like I said, this depicts a Trump that did win the presidency, and he left this country in ruin. Left us in debt to China, to Europe, and that's all he's talking about right now is to heck with them, you know? We don't need them. He's going to cut off all ties. But apparently in this episode, he does the opposite. But what they did do is they dropped a newer version with Trump in it. And he hasn't become president yet. Everyone's in the voting process. You can see it on the signs in the back. So I haven't seen any other details of this. I don't get to watch The Simpsons. I don't watch The Simpsons. But for those that are out there and to take the time to go through it and find these things, I appreciate it. It's an eye-opener, especially when you start to see that things throughout history have been called out. Regardless if they hit on this one or not, we've got a whole nother year more to see what happens here with Trump. And it's in my own belief, with Joe Biden here stepping up, acting like he's going to run. You know, if you look throughout history and you look at how things are set up, if something happens to the President of the United States, who takes control? The Vice President. God forbid if something was to happen out here and it be attached to something they could lock down martial law, you wouldn't even have a presidential run. You would have President Joe Biden with no election. For as long as they want to lock it down under the NDAA. And many would say he's already been pulling the strings. behind Obama. I would say they're all puppets. They all play their part in deception on us. And like I said before, there's not a one of them up there that's a righteous man that I see. Not a one. Funny how they just choose themselves to run and nobody says anything about it. They just choose themselves. Make you think you have an option, right? Anyhow, I'll leave links. Keep you guys posted if I come across any more of this. Or any more telling episodes pertaining to where we sit. But I thought it was pretty interesting dealing with Trump, the future in the year 2030. It's been Dabu 7. Peace.